Good morning, dear colleagues. Good morning, esteemed guests. First of all, it is a pleasure for me to welcome all of you here at this summit. Unfortunately, yesterday I was unable to join the opening of the summit because I was on the official visit in Geneva, at the headquarters of the International Telecom Union, where they had the annual WCS forum. And it just happened this way that within the last 10 days, or more exactly 2 weeks, I had many intense meetings in Europe, Eurobeef in Tallinn, then ITU session in Geneva. And the key issue raised at all those forums and events is cybersecurity. I'd like to quote one example. At the opening of Eurodef in Tallinn, there was a president of Estonian Republic, president of Lithuanian Republic, prime minister of Norway, and when Dalia Grybauskaitė, the president of Lithuania, was speaking, she was very clear in saying that the cybersecurity issues are about each and every citizen in each and every country worldwide. Cybersecurity is thus much broader than being just about technical issues. And I personally made the following conclusion I'd like to share with you. Now Ukraine is in a hybrid war against Russian Federation. I think that everybody here understands that even though it's called anti-terrorist operation, it's actually a war. And this hybrid war that Ukraine has unfortunately to conduct, the very first country on the global scale to go through this sort of war. So in this sort of war, cyber defense is the core component of fighting in this cyber war. And cybersecurity is now becoming a top priority in every country's defense efforts. For this reason, such events, such meetings are very important. Here at this summit, we have got a number of our partners, first of all from the United States, as well as Europe. So, what should we do here in Ukraine? What are the problems and challenges that we face? Unfortunately, and it is a great pity for me to say that, but it doesn't make our parliament any better, but I have to say this. Unfortunately, in this country where we have this hybrid war, we still have no one law on cybersecurity or cybercrime. And this is very bad. There is a lack of certainty about the model to be applied in Ukraine in cybersecurity area is another problematic issue. You know that in Europe there have been two models, one of those being a centralized one, where everything is done through special regulators, and the other one is a trust-based model, where a private business who has to protect its critical infrastructure just has to comply with certain obligations and commitments, and they trust the state and comply with those obligations. Under the other model, which is, for example, in Lithuania and Estonia, like we have our National Telecom Regulatory Commission, they have their national cybersecurity regulator who coordinates all those efforts. Why have I mentioned the critical infrastructure now? The reason is about the situation where Russia is the only aggressor worldwide, testing now this hybrid war against other countries of the world. You know about attacks 2 years ago that Russia launched against our provincial energy distribution companies. Recently we had some situations with our financial institutions. So the critical infrastructure related issues are top priority at the moment. And partnership and interaction between the state and private sector are of utmost importance. I do hope that very soon we will reach consensus in our parliament to achieve some sort of compromise and to pass some laws. Of course, there has been some criticism about the first draft law we have got. Of course, we would like to have some ideal laws, but all of you understand that this is simply impossible in any one country worldwide. It's impossible to create a draft law which would be ideal from a theoretical point of view and get the parliament members' vote for it. That's impossible. So the challenges for our parliament are as follows. It should create the legislative framework to enable our country to defend itself. I do hope that our experts from the United States and the European Union would help us. We work with those. There is something that our partners request from us. The United States say that there should be more military efforts, and the European Union is more interested in defending and protecting our critical infrastructure, because if we are to join the EU has to be confident and sure that our critical infrastructure is protected. And everybody should understand that when we say critical infrastructure, it's not only a state-run, government-run infrastructure. No, critical infrastructure is also about telecom, about energy, power sector, about financial institutions. And so the EU wants to be sure that it will be protected the same way as the EU's critical infrastructure is, because we should not be a weak point in this integration process. And this forum that we are now having, I'd like to ask its organizers, please help us, help the parliament, because the joint efforts are the only way to do something good. And we would like to see that the outcome of this forum be not just some friendly networking and nice friendly dinner. No, as a result of this forum, we would also like to get some real recommendations, real suggestions on developing cyber defense and cyber security of Ukraine. Not just about some theoretical considerations, but some real advice based on our complicated political and economic situation. Believe me, it would help me a lot in the parliament. So I would like to ask every participant of this forum that we have to get at the end of this forum some paper or couple of papers with specific recommendations, and we will try to put those into our legislation and to request compliance from agencies in charge of cybersecurity in Ukraine. I would like to extend special thanks to the organizers. I know that it has been very difficult to organize this sort of an event. I think that the first idea came in December last year or January this year, and our parliamentary committee supported this idea because this is a very right thing to do. And I would like to wish everybody productive work at this forum and never become a victim of cyber attack, or if you become a target of cyber attack, so that you'd be able to defend yourself. Wishing you every success.